Hey, my friends. Welcome to episode number 60 of the Nourish and Strengthen podcast. Today, I have a question that I get asked about all the time. I've been asked about this a lot throughout my entire career, and that has to do with stubborn belly fat. But more specifically lately, I've been asked, how do you lose this menopause belly, this stubborn belly fat that just kind of accumulates in perimenopause and menopause as we get older, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. You guys might have heard, that one of the symptoms of high cortisol or going through perimenopause or menopause is that accumulation of body fat around your middle. It's like this thickening around your tummy, your lower back, just kind of your trunk, your middle area of your body, right? That just kind of thickens and you get that accumulation of stubborn body fat there. So we're going to talk about that today, how to lose that belly fat and exactly what to do and why it's harder also as we get older, okay? So I do want to remind you guys, or maybe you don't know this, so I'll tell you for the first time, but you cannot spot reduce body fat, okay? That means no amount of crunches or core work is going to make you lose weight in your belly, okay? So where you lose weight first is genetic, right? So you can look at your parents, you can look at your family members. Chances are you have a similar body type to people in your family, right? If you have more of an apple shape where you keep more of your body fat around your middle, chances are probably one of your parents or your grandparents or aunts and uncles have that same body shape, right? Same thing with a pear shape. Just, your genetic body shape is likely the same as your family members, right? And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but unfortunately, those trouble spots where we hold on to that body fat are generally the last places to go. So if you find yourself like, okay, maybe you carry a lot of body fat in your hips and thighs, and you go into a calorie deficit, you go on a diet, a cut, whatever you want to call it, you will likely find that you are losing weight from your tummy, your arms, your chest, your back, places like that, and those stubborn areas. So in this example of the extra weight in the hips and thighs, you'll likely find that your hips and thighs are the last place to lose it. And oftentimes people will say, I'll hear from people that'll say, I really wanted to lose my belly fat, but it's my waist measurement is not coming down. And I'll ask, okay, well, are you losing weight in other places? Like, is your thigh measurement coming down, your hips, your arms, whatever? And they'll say, yes, my belly isn't. So you see what I'm saying? You will lose weight in other places, and the stubborn body fat areas are oftentimes the last to go. Okay. So no certain exercise, like I said, is going to help you lose that belly fat. It has to do with, a few things, but mostly your nutrition. Okay. And I mean, of course, you do need to be working out. You do need to be lifting weights. You do need to be moving your body, doing an appropriate amount of cardio for your goals. Okay. And if you continue this long enough, right, proper nutrition, which we're going to get into, proper nutrition, your good workout routine, getting a lot of steps, cardio if needed, you're lifting. If you continue these habits long enough, you will lose the weight. Okay, I can tell you, because you want to know why I know? Back to my days of competing, for me, my stubborn body fat is my arms hold some stubborn body fat, my lower tummy, just like most women. When you get lean enough, I know this from my days of competing, like I said, you will lose those areas. Okay, but at what cost? Right? There's downsides to continuing to diet and cut calories further and further and further to ensure that you lose that stubborn body fat, right? So what are some of those downsides? Metabolic adaptation. Your body's going to continue to adjust. Our bodies are super smart. They adjust to whatever we're doing, right? And you drop calories, your body's going to adjust. You drop calories again, your body's going to adjust, making it harder and harder to continue to diet, which is why we like to say, see results on the highest amount of calories you can, because your body will adapt. Your body will adapt, and you'll need to drop it again. Okay. Another downside to continue dieting for long periods of time is higher cortisol levels, can lead to dysregulated hormones. So the more we're in a calorie deficit, the longer we're in a calorie deficit, our cortisol levels can get chronically higher. It's a stress on the body, and high cortisol levels can lead to downregulated sex hormones, thyroid hormones, all of these things can downregulate the longer we're in a calorie deficit because it's just that prolonged stress on the body. There are some things you can do to kind of take yourself out of that stress, like some diet breaks, refeeds, certain strategies that we use with our clients if they're in a prolonged diet phase. Like if you've got 50, 75, 100 pounds to lose, even 30 to 40 pounds to lose, you're looking at a significant time in a calorie deficit. And so there are things you can do to mitigate that stress. Like I said, refeeds where you have days where you're eating higher calories, diet breaks where you have weeks that you're eating more like maintenance calories, right? But there are downsides to continuing to diet. Okay. And the other thing you want to think about is that last few pounds. So let's say you're pretty lean and you have some belly fat that's bothering you. You want to think about, like, if I have to lose 5 more pounds, like, is that last 5 pounds sustainable? For some people, it totally might be, but for some people, it might not be. It can be really, really hard to maintain a very lean physique where your body fat is really, really low. Okay. So oftentimes when people say, how do I lose the belly fat? You have to really ask yourself, okay, how much weight do I have to lose? If my body fat is already fairly low and I have a fairly lean physique and it's just a little bit of stubborn belly fat, you have to ask yourself truly, is that worth it? Okay. If your body fat is on the higher side and you just carry more of your weight in your middle, you do have to remember that you can't spot reduce, but it's the nutrition and your overall being in a calorie deficit overall that's going to dictate whether or not you're losing weight. And as long as you continue to keep going and don't give up, you will lose the weight from those stubborn areas. Okay, you will. You just have to keep going and keep up those habits long term, and the stubborn body fat will come off. Now, let's kind of talk about how this is different in perimenopause though, okay? That fact of not being able to spot reduce and the fact of it having more to do with your nutrition than your workouts is the same, whether you are 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, no matter what, it's no different, okay? The kink in things here is that when you're in perimenopause or postmenopausal, our bodies are not as resilient to stress as they used to be. Okay. So what happens as we get into perimenopause is our estrogen and progesterone and our testosterone, they tend to slowly decrease, right? Because one of the characteristics of menopause is that we don't have any more of that estrogen and progesterone. Okay. Our sex hormones are tanked, right? And so when we don't have those sex hormones, it's harder for our bodies to regulate cortisol levels. So when we are in an aggressive deficit or a prolonged calorie deficit, it is much harder for our bodies to keep cortisol levels balanced, okay? And high cortisol can result in more belly fat accumulation, which is what we're trying to avoid, right? So what is the key here? We're going to summarize this here, okay? It's a short episode today. The key for losing belly fat, stubborn belly fat in perimenopause is a few things. 1, focusing mostly on your nutrition to lose the belly fat. Okay. You want to be making sure you're eating in a calorie deficit, but not too much of a calorie deficit that it's going to lead to high cortisol or lead to binging, like this, if it's not sustainable for you. You want to make sure you have a solid weight training and cardio routine, cardio if needed, likely just steps, but if you need to add on appropriate cardio on top of that, then do so. But also some stress reduction techniques, because like I said, in perimenopause, it's harder for our bodies to manage that stress. So it is crucial that you are doing things like getting regular walks outside if possible, doing restorative yoga, taking some time for mindfulness throughout your day, meditation, deep breathing, whatever that mindfulness looks like for you. Even just taking some time, 30 seconds, a minute, and closing your eyes, trying to quiet your mind. A couple questions I like to ask myself when quieting my mind are, what do I hear and what do I feel? So you're going to listen to the sounds around you. Say, okay, what do I hear around me? Maybe I hear some birds outside. Maybe I hear my computer buzzing. Maybe I hear the air conditioning going. This is a way to quiet your mind. Okay. And then you ask, what do I feel? Maybe that's, what do I feel on my skin? Do you feel some air conditioning blowing on you? Do you feel the seat that you're sitting on your backside? Do you feel some gurgling of some hunger maybe inside your tummy? So these are 2 easy questions that can help you just have a minute or 2 of mindfulness throughout a crazy day. Okay. Stretching, reading, taking a bath, sitting in a sauna, doing things that you love, laughing with friends. All of these things can be so helpful for stress reduction. Okay. And when it comes to losing belly fat in perimenopause, reducing stress is absolutely crucial. Okay. So before perimenopause, when it comes to losing stubborn belly fat, it's all about your nutrition. Make sure you're in a good calorie deficit, something that is sustainable for you, because if you keep on going long enough, you will lose that stubborn belly fat. Okay. But with perimenopause, we add the element of stress management because it is so, so important to make sure you are managing that stress. Sleep is important as well. So that sleep, stress, nutrition, and exercise. But keep in mind, it is not core work. Core work will give you a strong core, but it's not going to melt the belly fat that is on top of those muscles. Okay. So hope that was helpful for you guys. Just a nice short little one today to help answer a question that I get all the time. Let me know if you have common questions that you think about and you want me to answer on a podcast. Shoot them over to me on social media, and I would love to take a podcast episode and give you a little bit longer, more answer with more explanation. So hope you guys enjoyed this quick episode, and I will talk to you guys next week.